Hello everyone, welcome back to Anonymous World. Hope you all are doing well. So today is day 17 of Advent of Cyber 4. So let's see what we have in day 17. Okay, so day 17 is secure coding, filtering for order amidst chaos. So after handling unrestricted file uploads and SQLi vulnerabilities, Skiddy continued to review Santa's web applications. She stumbled upon user submitted inputs that are unrecognizable, and some are even bordering on malicious. Later, she discovered that Santa's team hadn't updated these web applications in a long time. So they clearly needed more control to filter misuse. So we need to help McSkidy to in research and learn a useful technique to handle that in the future. So at this point, we are already well aware of the security concerns regarding input validation. Taking analogy to being the castle wall of our application that forms the first line of defense against any array of scenarios from harmless misuse to outright malicious intents. Now, in this task, we will be exploring input validation in a more general sense before touching upon one of its most complex use cases. Okay, so input validation foundation. Going back to day 15, we cannot manually type our CV in the input field. We saw that in first day of secure coding part, the form asks for a file, so it's simply not what's being asked. We cannot just upload any file. It should follow a set of very specific rules, the implementation of which was all discussed in the latter part of the task. Now the I think main topic is HTML5 and regex. So HTML5's built-in feature helps a lot with the validation of user provided input, which minimizes the need to rely on JavaScript for the same objective. So the input element specifically has an array of very helpful capabilities centered around form validation. So let's take an example. The input type, which can be set to specifically filter for an email, a URL, or even a file among others, generally checks whether or not the user provided input fits the type of data that has been set by the administrator. So for even more granular control of the input being provided, regex or regular expressions can be integrated into the mix. Simply use it in the pattern attribute within the input element and then you are all set. So a link is given here. You can go there to check the resource with regex. There are two examples are given. So input type is equal to text, ID is uname and the name is uname, and then pattern is given here. So within the square brackets, one pattern is given A to Z, which means lowercase alphabet A till lowercase alphabet Z, then followed by capital A to till capital Z, and then alpha and then numeric number from 0 to 9. Okay, so another one is for email. So for email, the pattern is dot plus means concatenate at the rate TryHackMe, then .com. So dot is I think it is a special character, so backslash is used to escape that. So the pattern in the first line of the code above is easily one of the most foundational regular expression patterns one can use. So instruction here is to match any string specifically composed of only letters and numbers, or you can say that alphanumeric pattern that is case insensitive. So the pattern in the second line of the code above is a bit more pointed in its instruction, specifying that an email can have any character at the beginning as long as it ends with tryhackme.com @tryhackme.com. Okay, so regex 101. So this section will talk about some regex tips to get you started to match any lowercase character from the English alphabet. The regex pattern is A-Z within square brackets. So it can be deconstructed as follows. So you can go through that. You can mix and match sets of character within the bracket. Small a to small z, then capital A to capital Z. Then you can also add 0 to 9 for numeric for numbers. So we also need to talk about regex operators. So the simplest one is the wildcard operator denoted by dot. This means regex will match any character and it's quite powerful then used with the operators asterisk or plus and min and max. Asterisk or star operator is used if you don't care if the preceding token matches anything or not. While the plus operator is used if you want to make sure that it matches at least once. The curly braces operator on the other hand specifies the number of characters you want to match. Okay, so let's see some examples. So if you want to match a string that is alphanumeric and it's case sensitive, then you can use A to Z, then capital A to Z, then 0 to 9, then plus. Okay, so here the plus operator means that we want to match a string and we don't care how long it is, as long as it's composed of letters and numbers regardless of their case. So now if you want to ensure that the first part of the string is composed of letters and we want it to match regardless if there are numbers thereafter. So it will be exponent sign, then again capital small letters Z, then capital 1, then plus, then 0 to 9, then asterisk, then dollar sign. Okay, so here the exponential and dollar operators are called anchors and denote the start and end of the string we want to match respectively. Since we wanted to ensure that the start of the string is composed of only letters, adding the caret operator is required. If you want to match just lowercase that are in between 3 and 9 characters in length, our pattern would be AZ, and within curly braces we will give numbers. So 3 denotes minimum and 9 denotes maximum. Okay, then you can go through other examples. Okay, so if you want to match both www.tryhackme.com and tryhackme.com, your pattern would be the Carter operator, then www, then slash to escape that wildcard dot, then question mark. Okay, so question mark means optional, so www is optional. It may be there in the string or it may not be present. So so it will give result for both tryhackme.com as well as www.tryhackme.com. Okay, so here's a table to summarize everything above. Okay, so some best remediation tactics are given below. So a simple code is given where programmer attempts to retrieve the usual details from a user like name, birthday, email, age. Okay, so the example is a bit weird and it would have been an immediate nightmare as it raises many alarms not only in terms of security but in terms of getting a ton of garbage responses. This is the case if no input validation is done at all. Let's fix it up and review it again. Okay, so the changes above are literally just addition of the type attribute. So your type is added text, date, email, number, URL. So in the third code snippet, the code is further fixed. So here the changes done above incorporate both semantic checking as well as whitelisting technique to existing syntax checking in the prior implementation in order to further filter out allowed values that can be provided in the input field. So the required is used, required min length for max length, and size of the input is specified further. Okay, then client side versus server side. So you can go through all that description. So let's jump to exercise part. So TryHackMe have prepared a regex exercise that we can access through the machine provided. First, let's start the virtual machine by pressing the start machine button. Okay, so let's start our machine. So it will start in a split view. Okay, so to practice regex, first change your working directory to regex practice folder using the command this. Okay, then we may either use egrep via the following syntax: egrep, then our regex pattern, then strings, or we can also use a Python script for regex. So we are aware that some structured data are more complex than others, so we have a set of specific syntax you may follow to make the exercise simpler. So we need to filter usernames, emails, and URL. So let's wait for our machine to get started. Okay, so let's go to our terminal. Let's zoom this. Then where are we now? Okay, let's go to desktop. Okay, sorry. Desktop, then cd regex folder our. So we have our text file which is strings. So let's go to first question. Filtering for usernames. How many username fit the syntax above? So filtering for username, it should be alphanumeric, minimum of 6 characters, maximum of 12 characters, and it may consist of upper and lowercase letters. So let's create a regex pattern for this. We'll be using egrep. Then within inverted commas, we will enter our pattern. So first we will use our start anchor operator. Then within square operators, uh, we need to give alphanumeric syntax. So it is case insensitive. So we'll be using both small and capital letters. Okay. Then within curly braces, we will give the length. So minimum is 6 and maximum is 12. Then we will use ending anchor operator. Okay. Then our file name strings. Okay. So we got our usernames. How many usernames? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's great. Now, one username consists of a readable word concatenated with a number. What is it? So it's user 35. Other ones are not readable. Now, filtering for emails. How many emails fit the syntax above? So let's see the syntax. Follows the form local part @domain without quotation marks. Local part is a random string and the domain is in the form of domain name .tld. So TLD are top level domains and all are with .com. Okay, so let's create a pattern for this. Again, egrep. Then within our inverted commas, we will write our pattern. So let's start with the start anchor tag. Okay, so then local part is a random string. So we will use a wildcard operator and we will use plus operator and then it's @domain name. So domain name is can be anything. So @ then again dot. Okay, then again we need to concatenate it with .tld, which is a top level domain. So we can use escape operator followed by our wildcard operator, then com, and then we will use ending anchor tag. So I think it should work. Strings. Okay, great. How many emails fit the syntax above? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Now, how many unique domains are there? So I can see Gmail, AMG, Yahoo 3, Fedful 4, Sinner 5, Canary 6, Hotmail 7, TryHackMe 8, no, 7, and then Alpha. I think it's 8. Okay, great. What is the domain of the email with the local part Lewisham 44? So it's amg.com. What is the domain name of the email with the local part Maximax? So Maximax, it is fedful.com. What is the local part of the email with the domain name hotmail.com? Hotmail at san.volt. Now, filtering for URLs. How many URLs fit the syntax provided? Okay, so let's see what is the syntax for URL. So it starts with either HTTP or HTTPS. Some of the URLs have www and the TLD should exist. Okay, it means uh, we will be using egrep, then again inverted commas, start anchor tag. Now it may contain HTTP or HTTPS. So HTTP is compulsory and we can make S optional. So we'll be using the question mark, which is the optional operator. Then the wildcard operator, then it contains that colon and 2 slash, so we can use 3, then followed by www. So it's also optional, so we'll be using again question mark, and then it is followed by a TLD, then domain name, then we will be using com, and then ending anchor tag. So let's see if this work. It didn't give any output. Give here one more dot. Okay, so in a TLD should exit, so it's not necessary it's com, so it can be anything. So let's try this again. Great, it worked now. How many URLs fit the syntax provided? 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15, I think it's 16 or 17. Okay, it's 16. How many of these URLs start with HTTPS? You see 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. So it's 7. Great. I think it can also be done with that command. We can remove S as optional. Great. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. So that's it for day 17. I will see you guys tomorrow in day 18. Till then, keep learning.